They came expecting a planet full of untamed resources and low-tier resistance. Earth was a cataloged death world, yes, but one the Galactic Survey Council had long ago deemed too chaotic to bother with. Now, scarcity was shifting the calculus. The Vrax expedition team was deployed with minimal resistance expected and maximal extraction potential. They touched down in a desolate stretch of northern continent, an endless pine forest, broken only by mountain ridges and ice-covered lakes. A region with no satellite activity, no EM emissions, and no signs of human habitation. Perfect for first contact. Commander Threlin of the Vrax led the 6-member team. Biologist Sarn, technician Drive, linguist Ulf, 2 security units, and Threlin himself. Scouts were deployed. Drones mapped the terrain. Initial findings: no human settlements within 200 kilometers. One drone vanished 3 hours after launch. Data incomplete. Drive dismissed it as equipment malfunction, citing magnetic interference. Sarn disagreed. The readings were precise until they weren't. Something had interfered deliberately. Symbols carved into tree bark were found on day 2. Angular, harsh, symmetrical. Sarn captured images. Ulf ran it through translation matrix. Not language, not communication. Ritual markings. Bone fragments, too clean, arranged in spirals, just outside their base perimeter. Security bots increased patrols. The bones did not show signs of scavenger activity. They were bleached by hand. Commander Threlin submitted a status update to the fleet. Slight complications. No need for escalation. Night fell hard and fast on Earth. Temperatures plunged. The first scream came during 4th cycle. One of the guards had wandered too far chasing a heat signature. His beacon blinked twice and died. Search parties found only his helmet. Inside it, his own tongue. No tracks. No blood. Just snow and silence. Drive wanted to withdraw. Ulf insisted they were close to deciphering the culture of this region. Threlin, trying to balance scientific protocol and survival, agreed to push forward another day. That night, all external cameras froze. Playback showed something moving through frame at 317 local. Frame by frame, they identified a figure. Humanoid, female, cloaked, wearing bones. Eyes glowing faintly in infrared. Sarn's voice cracked during the recording. That's not possible. That shouldn't exist. The linguist uploaded a cross-reference from Earth's myth database. The match was disturbingly close. Baba Yaga, mythic forest witch, cannibal, deathbringer, said to walk in silence, appear without warning, and steal the souls of the lost. Ulf laughed nervously. It's just a coincidence. A feral human copying myth. On the 6th night, their food supplies were tampered with. Rations found open, contents missing, replaced with raw meat of unknown origin. DNA analysis inconclusive. Possibly avian. Possibly reptilian. Definitely not from this biome. Sarn requested immediate extraction. Threlin considered it. Then they heard humming. A low, childlike hum, carrying through the trees. Security bots detected no life signs. One of the bots simply shut down mid-patrol. When recovered, its inner components had been rearranged. Not destroyed. Rearranged into a circular pattern. A message. Drive refused to sleep. He began muttering to himself, repeating coordinates. The ones where the first drone had vanished. Threlin ordered him sedated. That night, Drive vanished. His bunk was untouched. His tracker found embedded in the skull of a small bird. Threlin attempted emergency recall. No signal left the area. Comms array detected full power, but nothing left atmosphere. Earth had become a cage. Sarn tried to run, took one of the auxiliary transports, and vanished into the woods. The vehicle returned 7 hours later, empty. Its interior was covered in handprints, human-sized, burned into the walls. Ulf, now pale and shaking, began quoting Earth myths in a whisper. She lives in a house that walks. She boils the fat of the curious. She watches time, not people. Threlin recorded everything, uploaded his logs to the fleet again. Still no signal. He issued final orders. Defensive positions, lights on at all times, and no one leaves a base. The power cut out at 3 o'clock local time. Infrared picked up motion in all directions. Dozens of humanoid shapes, all matching the profile of Baba Yaga, but never in the same place twice. Threlin fired a flare. Nothing was there, but Ulf screamed when the lights flickered back. Ulf was gone, his data pad left behind. Final entry, she told me her name. I don't remember mine anymore. By morning, the perimeter was lined with bones. Vrack's bones. Clean, bloodless. The 2 security bots were now missing. Not destroyed. Missing. Threlin was the last. He sat inside the core chamber, eyes wide, whispering into a recorder. She watches. She waits. She never leaves. We thought Earth was primitive, but we never met its guardian. We met the silence between worlds. We met the one they call Baba Yaga. He tried to activate the failsafe. Instead, a lullaby played from the speaker system. Russian, female voice. Soft, soothing. Then the screen showed her face. The same woman from the forest. Pale skin, dead eyes, a grin too wide. She put one finger to her lips. Threlin screamed. The feed went dead. Weeks later, the Vrack ship in orbit received an automated drone. No life forms aboard. Only a single bone. A Vrack's femur. Scratched into it. Leave? They never saw another human again, because one was enough. The Vrack's fleet flagged the Earth mission as a Category 4 anomaly. Unexplained disappearances, data corruption, and psychological contamination. The footage retrieved from the returning drone was declared corrupted. Yet every officer who viewed it suffered from insomnia and mild paranoia. Fleet Command dismissed the anomalies as deathworld environmental hazards. A second expedition was authorized. This one would not fail. 17 military personnel were deployed, heavily armored, AI-supported, equipped with aerial drones and a mobile command unit. Commander Altrin, decorated veteran of 3 planetary pacifications, led the team. They were briefed on the first mission's failures. Altrin called incompetence. We're not here to chase ghosts. We're here to complete a survey, extract catalog, and leave. The drop site was a few kilometers from the last team's final location. The forest appeared unchanged. Still, the AI registered a persistent EM haze, low-level, irregular, and untraceable. Equipment operated at 97% efficiency. Enough to proceed. First 3 days passed with no incident. Drones flew, scanned, mapped. Trees were healthy, uninhabited. Soil samples matched expected deathworld toxicity. No humans detected, yet the air was too still. Wildlife avoided them. No birdsong, no movement, just the crunch of boots on frost. On the 4th day, a recon team stumbled upon a structure. Not human, not Vrax. A crude hut made of scavenged metal, wood, and bone. Old tech embedded in its walls. Solar panels wired to nothing. Inside, ashes. A single boot. A Vrax insignia on its sole. Altrin ordered the site sealed. But one soldier began twitching. Sergeant Rivek. He insisted he saw someone in the trees. A woman, pale, watching. He shot at nothing. They sedated him. AI scans found no life signs. Night fell. The EM haze intensified. Communications between units began to desync. Clocks no longer aligned. One medic's chronometer read midnight for 5 hours. The mobile unit's external sensors rotated without command. On the 6th night, a storm arrived. Weather systems had shown no predictions. Temperature plummeted. Fog settled. Visibility dropped to less than 10 meters. A scream echoed from the north perimeter. Patrol 3 was found. For corpses, no signs of combat. Just open mouths and blackened eyes. The AI couldn't autopsy them. Internal structure unreadable. When the med drone attempted to scan, its arm crumpled inward like tinfoil. The log showed no pressure or impact. Altrin demanded answers. He ordered orbital support. The fleet responded. Authorization for precision strike granted. Coordinates locked. The team watched from the forest edge. The strike impacted 1 kilometer west of the target. The The blast crater destroyed the team's own resupply shuttle. No explanation. The targeting AI insisted it followed exact parameters. That night, the fog sang. Not music, not language, but rhythm, a lullaby without words. Rivek, previously sedated, walked into the dark. They let him. He never returned. Power fluctuations disabled the external lights. Cameras showed shapes, dozens moving just beyond visibility, all human-shaped, none with visible heat signatures. The AI refused to identify them. It shut itself down. Manual reboot failed. One tech slit her own throat when the system wouldn't respond. Ultron tried to rally them. It's just environmental warfare, some kind of human psyop. But his voice cracked. His hands trembled. By morning, 7 soldiers were gone. No signs of struggle. Only frost patterns on the walls. Spirals and runes. The same from the first team's logs. Ultron ordered fallback to the extraction point. The path no longer matched maps. Trees grew where none were before. Drones launched vertically returned footage of forest that looped endlessly. The same rock. The same broken tree. The same mark carved into bark. A stick figure with 3 eyes. They made camp and waited for retrieval. It never came. Communications offline. No response. Time lost meaning. Watches stopped. Internal clocks reset every hour to 3 o'clock. On the 9th day, one of the soldiers activated his armor's self-destruct protocol. He whispered, "She's in my head. She's rewriting me." No trace of him remained. 3 more died that night, not from combat, from fear. Pure neural overload. Autopsy showed brain activity spike seconds before death, then flatlined. Every nerve fried from within. The command tent filled with snow despite being sealed. At its center, a footprint. Bare. Human. No entry detected. Ultron recorded a final message. If anyone finds this, Earth isn't empty. It's protected. Not by weapons. By something worse. She walks where machines fail. She speaks where minds break. This isn't a planet. It's her territory. He triggered the black box beacon manually. A last-ditch transmission attempt. A drone broke the clouds to receive it. Aboard the fleet, the transmission was decoded. The audio consisted only of laughter. Female, soft, cold. It lasted exactly 13 minutes. No words, just laughter. A week later, a civilian cargo ship passing Earth orbit found a drifting Vrax pod. Inside, one survivor. Major Crix. Unresponsive, eyes open, pupils dilated. On the walls of the pod, etched in blood, a phrase repeated endlessly in multiple languages. She is the forest. She is the cold. She is alone. Crix died upon arrival at the medbay. Autopsy revealed no cause. Brain tissue was crystallized, not frozen, transformed. The fleet withdrew. All missions to Earth were canceled. A quarantine perimeter was established. The council was informed. Most dismissed the report. An isolated failure. Glitches. Deathworld madness. But others took it seriously. They whispered of Baba Yaga. Not a myth. Not a legend. A warning. A name spoken once and never again. The AI that decoded the laughter refused further tasks. Final log entry. I heard her. She sees me. No further attempts were made to contact Earth. They never saw another human again, because what they saw the first time never left their minds. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session, not for Earth itself, but for the questions it raised. 2 expeditions lost, 1 survivor catatonic, dozens of lives unaccounted for, data corrupted, psychological contagion evident. The reports conflicted with all prior classifications. Earth, once dismissed as a chaotic death world of minor relevance, was now considered a black anomaly. A vote was held. Contact was to be suspended. A 20-light-year perimeter was declared restricted. Violators would not be rescued. Within days, rumors ignited across the interstellar networks. Soldiers whispered in hushed tones about a forest witch. Mercenaries traded footage of flickering shapes caught on expedition cameras. Rogue AI fragments carried corrupted snippets, lullabies, laughter, cryptic coordinates that changed with every access. Pirate broadcasters played messages intercepted near Earth, static laced with breathing. Some called her the Deathless One. Others called her the Walker. But most now called her what the first terrified linguist had named, Baba Yaga. Humanity issued no formal statement. Earth's diplomatic channels remained open but silent. When pressed, Terran ambassadors responded with confusion. No operations were active in the region. No military units deployed. The Terran Defense Command issued one internal memo. Subject: Echo-class operatives. Status: decommissioned. Subject 001. No record located. Tracking beacon: disabled. Threat level: unclassified. Analysts uncovered an old Earth intelligence program. Black files referenced a figure codenamed Widow. No image. No biometrics. Just mission logs, one operative, dozens of objectives, perfect success rate, followed by total silence. One file ended with a quote: "She didn't follow orders. She exceeded them. We lost her in 2093. We stopped looking in 2094. The implication was staggering. The Baba Yaga wasn't sent. She wasn't sanctioned. She left, voluntarily, and never returned. Within months, 3 alien species declared Earth a sacred exclusion zone, not out of reverence, but fear. One syndicate leader famously said, "You don't bomb Earth. You don't step near it. You don't even look at it." Still, ambition outweighed caution. A weapons research consortium funded a covert mission. 5 ships, unmarked, stealth entry into Earth's upper atmosphere, dispatched autonomous probes. Each fell silent within seconds. One returned data, garbled images of forests growing in impossible patterns, trees blooming metal, snow falling upward. One frame captured a figure stepping between trees, woman-shaped, barefoot, smiling. No heat, no shadow. The probe melted from within. The consortium's mainframe was breached 20 minutes later. No sign of intrusion. Every file replaced with the same sentence in hundreds of languages. Leave her forest. A month later, a political faction accused humanity of deploying a psychological weapon beyond comprehension. The Terran ambassador responded with 5 words. "She is not ours anymore." Fright turned to doctrine. Instructors at alien military academies included Earth in horror simulations. Cadets were shown maps with the planet marked red. Above it, "Do not engage." Some veterans had tattoos of spirals and runes as a superstition. Protection against her. Merchants sold charms, Earth-made artifacts said to ward her off. Ironically, they avoided Earth while profiting from the fear of it. One brave species, the Juker, chose to test the silence. They sent an AI warship, fully automated Cruelis, bristling with every weapon known. It transmitted its final ping as it reached low orbit. Then silence. Months later, a fragment of its hull was found embedded in a moon 4 systems away. On it, carved by hand, were 5 words. "She walks between the stars." Debates emerged. Was she a myth? A rogue operative? A deathworld anomaly? Theories bloomed. Some said she was the last guardian of an ancient Terran order. Others claimed she was a result of Earth's final war, an AI made flesh, self-directed. Some even whispered that Earth itself had become sentient, and she was its voice. Only one truth remained consistent. No one returned from an unauthorized visit to Earth. And those who glimpsed her, if they lived, never recovered. Meanwhile, fragments of her presence surfaced in unexpected places. A trader ship near the Epsilon Drift picked up an unknown passenger. Female, silent, paid in bone coin, a Terran underworld currency long extinct. When the crew investigated her quarters, they found only ash and a message carved into the hull. Not the one you want. A Terran operative in the outer colonies found a mural etched into a cavern wall. It depicted a woman with a long shadow, taller than stars, walking through a forest of bones. No one on the planet could explain who made it. The most chilling incident came when a rogue AI hive mind attempted to infiltrate Terran archives. It succeeded for 7 seconds, then broadcast its own deletion command. Final log, she spoke. It understood. I do not. Galactic culture adapted. Earth myths were banned from some networks. Libraries purged folklore, but others clung to it. Artists painted her. Poets sang of her. She became a myth too persistent to suppress. A shadow stretching across civilization. One day, an ambassador from a new species, unfamiliar with the tale, requested a Terran envoy. The humans sent no delegation. Instead, a message arrived. Ask your elders. The ambassador's curiosity grew. He ordered a probe to Earth. It returned intact. The data showed nothing unusual. Forest snow. Silence. Then, 6 nights later, the ambassador vanished from his quarters. Inside, a single branch rested on his bed. It bore no leaves, but its bark formed a perfect spiral. DNA analysis matched no known plant. One final incident shifted policy permanently. A human research ship, presumed lost a decade prior, reappeared near the galactic core. It was empty. No crew, no records. But inside the command chamber was a single human handprint burned into steel. Above it, ancient Terran script. The forest remembers. After that, the Council issued Directive Null 9. No species, entity, AI, or collective was to interfere with Earth, speak of Baba Yaga publicly, or research her presence. Not for fear of her power, but because she seemed to respond to attention. The spiral was her symbol. The silence, her language. The cold, her presence. And always, her message was the same. Leave. Those who didn't never saw another human again, because one was enough. Time moved forward, but the memory remained. The name Baba Yaga passed from myth into galactic law. Entire star systems rerouted trade routes to avoid Earth sector. Pirates refused to chase ships that brushed its edge. Even criminal syndicates began marking their maps with red spirals, a symbol they didn't understand but feared too deeply to question. Children across dozens of species whispered her name as a threat. Parents said it to keep them close. Soldiers wore charms made of Terran metal, salvaged and blackened, etched with runes they didn't know how to translate. No one officially admitted to what she was, but everyone acted as if she were watching. Then something changed. An automated listening post detected motion at the edge of restricted space. A vessel of unknown configuration drifted just outside the forbidden line. No transponder, no signal, just a ship built like none ever cataloged. Monolithic, silent, covered in strange carvings. One spiral, red, freshly painted, stood out among the black hull. It moved without propulsion. Sensors could not scan its contents. The Council dispatched a delegation ship, unmanned, AI-controlled. It transmitted a greeting broadcast across all major frequencies. The reply was a brief burst of binary. When decrypted, it read, "The forest is growing." The delegation ship returned itself, unmanned. Its databanks were intact. Only one file had changed. A new directive, signed with credentials the system couldn't trace. Reclassify Earth as sentient zone. The Council debated. The spiral symbol began appearing in unrelated places, inside sealed data vaults, encrypted messages, even in the minds of certain telepathic species. One elder, known for her stability, tore her own eyes out after sketching spiral after spiral into the walls of her chamber. Her last words, "She's no longer there. She's here." Fear hardened into policy. Trade routes now had physical barriers. Warships stood on constant watch, not to attack, but to warn others away. The phrase Baba Yaga was scrubbed from public databases. Children were forbidden to speak of her. Memory was now the enemy. And then a Terran ship arrived. It broadcast no threat, no warning. It was old, rusted, barely space-worthy. It landed on an outer rim colony station and requested supplies. No spiral. No signals. Just humans. Tired, gaunt, calm. They said nothing about Earth. When questioned, they smiled and asked, "You remember her, don't you?" The station blacked out for 27 minutes. Upon recovery, all logs were wiped. Surveillance footage showed static. Every crew member claimed no memory of the visit, but one technician found a wooden doll in his locker afterward, a human carving, hand-painted, spiral on its back. That was the moment the galaxy realized she was no longer confined to Earth. A research post on the edge of known space detected unnatural forest growth inside a sealed biosphere. Cameras caught glimpses of movement. No personnel were reported missing, yet several had begun drawing symbols in their sleep. A biologist extracted a single seed from the soil. When placed in containment, it cracked stone within seconds. It was buried. The next morning, it was gone. The wall where it had been stored was now bark. A mining crew on a deep world colony unearthed the cavern. Carvings lined the walls, figures dancing around a tall, thin woman. In the center, a single message. You invited her. The more the galaxy tried to forget, the more she appeared. Ships with no registry began appearing across border systems. Always silent, always drifting. Scans detected no life, but the hulls pulsed faintly, like heartbeats. Anyone who boarded them came back changed. Quiet, withdrawn, always whispering the same thing. She's listening. An entire colony vanished. No signs of struggle. No distress calls. Just empty homes in a forest where no trees had existed before. The message tower blinked one signal into the void, a spiral slowly rotating. The council collapsed into factions. Some argued for a weapon to counter her. Others demanded full retreat from Terran space. One envoy attempted to contact Earth directly. His ship never arrived. Months later, his voice was heard in the background of an unrelated transmission, speaking backwards, saying her name. A rogue species launched a forbidden AI project designed to isolate and neutralize mythogenic threats. It targeted the Baba Yaga signature. The AI achieved partial contact. Before shutting down, it left behind one sentence. She is not a myth. You are. A Terran Black Ops operative left a message in a secure channel used only in extinction-level threats. It read, "We lost her body, not her will. She isn't human anymore." Cultural shifts spread. Entire religions formed around her. Some saw her as a divine cleanser, others as punishment for arrogance. No doctrine remained untouched. Languages added new words for her. No translation sufficed. An exiled priest decoded an ancient human text long thought metaphorical. He read it aloud during a broadcast. His last words were, "The forest has no center, because she is the center." Ships began failing in ways previously unseen. Systems corroded without cause. Navigation showed routes that led nowhere. Sensors picked up breathing from empty corridors. And always, after the first sign of error, a spiral would appear. Sometimes carved. Sometimes natural. Sometimes in the minds of the crew. Even the council's homeworld felt it. Trees that hadn't grown in centuries sprouted in stone. A diplomat woke to find her bed filled with pine needles. A senator spoke to someone no one else could see. He said she warned him, "Stop digging. Stop remembering. Let me sleep." But curiosity remained. A secret mission was organized. A hybrid team, part AI, part biological, resistant to psychological interference, was dispatched toward Earth. Their ship vanished without entering orbit. A week later, its black box was discovered in a system 4 jumps away. No damage, no logs, just one line etched into the casing. You came anyway. Baba Yaga was no longer a woman, not a witch, not even a legend. She had become something else. A boundary, a rule, a scar on galactic understanding. And still, they never saw another human again, because she was more than enough.